exciting sights. There's now a newly named site called Seafans, which you won't want to miss. We talked with Steve Smith, the head of the moorings program.
About 3.5 years ago, the Cayman Islands government reopened what they call the Natural Resource Lab. The objective in opening the lab was to set up a monitoring program for the reefs and the lagoons of the Cayman Islands and the fishes and other organisms associated with the reefs. Shortly after we began our biological assessments, it became obvious that the most serious threat to our reefs is from anchor damage, primarily anchor damage from dive boats. Dive boats visiting the same area repeatedly, of course, even when they're careful, are going to damage the reef. So we set about trying to figure out an economical and efficient system for putting in permanent moorings, and we adopted a technique that was developed in Florida. We drill a 4-inch diameter, 20-inch deep hole into the bottom. We cement a stainless steel eye bolt into the hole, and then we shackle the down line here to the eye bolt. There's a line that goes to a surface float, this buoy, and then there's a pickup line coming off the buoy. The advantage of this system is that it makes it totally unnecessary for dive boats to continue anchoring in these popular sites, and will go a long way toward protecting the reef.
Caymanians passed the Marine Conservation Law in 1978, which protects corals and sponges from being taken and certain endangered marine life. In addition, the law controls traditional fishing. Spear guns and seine nets must be licensed and are limited to Caymanians and longtime residents. Lobster fishing is also limited, as is conch, and turtles are strictly protected. These provisions help ensure divers will be able to enjoy the reefs for generations to come. But because of the volume of divers, we all need to help by watching our buoyancy and by not breaking the coral.
In 1986, the law was expanded to create marine parks around Grand Cayman to prevent anchoring of boats and to make sure dive masters advise guests of the laws. The law also provides for replenishment zones, animal sanctuaries, and environmental zones where diving is even more limited.
The West End along 7 Mile Beach is Cayman's most heavily dived area. There are many good shallow sites off the beach, and also wall diving at Northwest Point and Spanish Bay. This area is near to most of the island's hotels, condos, restaurants, and shopping. Some of the most famous dives are Big Tunnels, Orange Canyon, and Trinity Caves. Along the wall are lots of Gorgonian fans, black coral, and sponges of all kinds, including the huge barrel sponges for which the island is famous.